Hi Wax Seal fam, today I'm going to be talking you through how to make pressed flower seals, how to add the gold, but also how to press your own flowers. So these flowers here were ones that I had already pressed, and I'm going to show you how to remove them and also how to add new flowers that you can press on your own so that you can make these beautiful wax seals. So let's jump in. Okay, the first thing that I'm going to do is open up my press. So these are flowers that I actually pressed over a month ago. And so I'm really excited to see how they came out. This press came with the lettering box, the spring lettering box, and it's a subscription that's 4 times a year where you get lettering and wax seal supplies. So this press was a part of it. So let's see how some of these flowers that I pressed came out. I'm hoping good. Let's see. Okay, so we've got some English daisies. Let's turn these over and see. Those ones are looking really pretty. Look at that. They're really large. The coloring stayed pretty well. They were kind of a pinkish, and so I know pink usually goes to purple. Here's another flower. That one was a lot more thick. So these are definitely giving purple vibes. So cute. So I have a little plate here. I'm gonna put all my flowers on this, and then we'll go through each layer. Something I didn't know when I first started using this flower press is that you can do multiple layers of flowers. So this one was from my plant called Speedwell, and these ones are much more delicate. Ooh, I'm worried I'm gonna tear them with my metal. See if I can bend the paper to get them to come off. See if we can get them. Ooh, I think they're stuck. Ooh, okay. So we got one. That took a while, but that is very cute and very tiny and dainty. And the purple, they're kind of they're like a bluish purple before pressing, so they are really pretty, but those ones are gonna take a while to get them all off. Okay, let's look at this last section. Ooh, these turned out really cute. So these were just some larger little flowers that were in a bouquet, but I'm like, that would be so cute. Not necessarily in the seal. You could put them in the seal, but maybe the seal's holding this whole piece down on a card or an envelope or something. But those are really fun. So when we're getting ready to do new flowers, this paper looks like it's still okay, but you can switch out the paper as needed. You can use, you could use even computer paper. Construction paper works really well because it's more textured, or even parchment paper. But I did gather a few different flowers and things. So these ones, this is larkspur, so it's pretty dry already just from a bouquet that it was in. So I'm gonna just pluck those out, show you how to use those with our dried flowers. But these other ones, some were from a bouquet. These ones are just from my yard, but I'm like, that could be cute once it's pressed. So we're gonna press these, and then we'll see, we'll talk about the process of pressing, I guess. So the first thing for this one is very similar to these ones that I did before, just a different type of flower. So that's kind of how it comes out. But what I want to do is just kind of pull off all this excess, these little pieces on the stem that I'm not going to need. I'm just going to pull those off, and the leaves are already looking kind of funky on the bottom. So I would probably leave it at that and then have one, and then I'll do the same thing with this one. I'm just going to pull off the bottom portions like so, and then I'll just add that in. And I feel like I can fit one more without it getting too cramped. That's the other thing. This is called a pocket press, so it's meant to be smaller, but you could definitely, get a larger press. And then I have here some embroidery scissors, so I'm just gonna snip the bottom of that so that it fits a little better. So there's my 3 pieces. So then I'll put another piece of paper on the top, And then I'll put another construction on top too. And then I'll get my next paper. And I could even, I have more cardboard pieces with my little press, so I could even do those in between. Something I don't love about the cardboard is sometimes it leaves the indentations in the flower. So I don't always love that. So let's do a few of these ones that I pulled from my yard. I'm pretty sure it's a weed, but it is a pretty weed at that. So I'm just gonna take this, and again, I'll just pull off the bottom part, and then I'm just gonna lay it flat. And I'm just gonna do a few of these. There's little pieces of grass in it, and we'll just see how they come out. I'm not really sure if these will press well. They're kind of, like the leaves aren't super flat already, so I'm very curious to see how these turn out. I've been seeing them in my yard for a while, and like, I need to press those and just see. So if there's any excess, just like trim it off, and then we'll just put it in. Okay, and then we're gonna cover it again with paper. We're gonna use another cardboard. And then I have a few more that I wanted to try. So this one was like, my little toddler was like, it's grass. But it was just a part of a bouquet, but I was just thinking maybe I could clip little pieces off and just try it and see if how that would look. So I'm gonna go ahead and give it a try. Okay, so I'm gonna use my paper, and this one got a little bit dirty from the last flower, so I'm gonna turn it this way and I'll use it one more time, and then I'm gonna replace it after that. But what I wanna do with these is I'm just gonna clip off these little pieces and just see how they press. I feel like they might have just a fun look, either in a wax seal or around a wax seal. So we'll do maybe one more, and we'll just try it and see. Maybe I should not have clipped on top of my little press. Okay, so let's put these in, and just, you want to make sure they're not touching so that they can get a nice press. And then the last thing I was gonna try is I just had a few of these little petals from a flower that I just thought the color was pretty, and I'm curious what color they'll turn out being. I feel like it'll just come out a darker purple, but I'm just gonna throw a few of these in here just for fun. And then from here, I'm gonna put this on the top. Again, this paper will be replaced the next time. So it's like, as the paper gets dirty with the flowers, then you just want to replace it. So I'm gonna put my 2 cardboards, and then I'm gonna put back my top. There. Then from here, this is where I have to put the little nuts and bolts back on. So I'm gonna twist all these on, and then we're gonna make some wax seals with the flowers we already pressed. Okay, so I've got them all ready to go. Something to note is you want to twist these tight enough that it will keep your flowers tight, but you can see mine starting to bend. You don't want it so tight that it's totally bending the wood and gonna snap it. So you just want it pretty tight so that it will hold those flowers in place. And it usually takes anywhere from 2 weeks to a month for these to totally dry out. It just kind of depends on the type of flower. So for example, these past ones that I did, these ones dried out really quickly because they're such a thin, fine little flower. Like, there's not much to them. Whereas these ones that are a little bit thicker, they're gonna take longer to dry out. The same with these ones that have more layers and more petals. They'll take a little bit longer. So let's jump in, and I'm gonna show you how to actually make wax seals with some of the flowers that you've pressed. So what you're gonna need, of course, are the pressed flowers like we've already talked about. You're also gonna need a blank stamp. So I actually have some really fun brand new blank stamps in my shop. It's these 4. And then of course I have circles and squares as well. That one has some gold on it. So you can see there's all these different shapes, and they're all blank, meaning they have no design on them. They're just a flat stamp. So they're perfect for adding a flower and then pressing them. And so all of these can be found in my online shop, begoodslettering.com. And like I said, these 4 are new and I just love them. I'm especially in love with this oval one. I think it's so gorgeous. So let's make some seals with these. You're also gonna need a low temp glue gun. So this is the one I'm using, AdTech, and you're gonna switch it to low. So no matter what brand you're using, they'll often have a low, like a switch, and just switch it down to low. Or some glue guns are set to low already and you can use that. And of course I'm pouring on parchment paper to make these seals, and the wax I'm using is called Vellum. It's also in my online shop, but it's, you can see I dropped my glue gun in my wax. It's like a transparent color, so I love it for flowers because it really helps the colors of the flowers pop. I also like using white with the flowers as well. So let's try doing just a regular circle one to start with. And I like to choose the flower I'm doing first. So here's my flower that I'm gonna use, and I'm gonna have that handy. Whoops. Okay, and then I'm gonna pour. So I'm just gonna pour my wax in a circular shape. Then I'm gonna take my flower and set it in. And then I'm gonna press, and I'm gonna hold down and press. And with flower seals, you're gonna notice more irregularity in the rim of the seal, just because the flowers have unique shapes, and when it mixes with the wax and then you press it, sometimes it won't form a completely perfect circle. So let's do one more. We can try this one with the square. We'll try all of our shapes today. So I'm gonna do a bit more wax on this one because it's a bigger flower. Then I'm just gonna set it in. Then I'm gonna take my square and press down. My wax is pretty warm, so I'm gonna let it cool a little longer, but you can see this one's already starting to cool where it's becoming like more milky almost, where this one's still clear. So it pours clear, this vellum wax, but it ends up looking like vellum when you're done. So let's take one of these ones that we did, and something I like to do when I have a bigger bunch of flowers like this, I'll kind of break them up into smaller chunks. So if I kind of go like this, now I've got this little piece, which is super cute because it has the little leaves. And I also have this cute piece too that's a little bit larger. Let me turn that over. So that's always an option with these bigger ones, is kind of break them into pieces. And I'm thinking that one will fit with my oval pretty nicely. So let me try it. Okay, we'll come over here. For an oval, I'm gonna try to pour the wax in a little bit more of an oblong shape. And I'm worried that end is gonna be a little long, so I'm gonna trim it off. And then I'm gonna set it in and press. Okay, that one's gonna be super cute. Okay, let's try, we still have a few more shapes to try. So let's do this kind of oblong shape, and we can try it with a few of these little speedwell flowers. Speedwell, I mean. So I'm thinking if I put 2 of them in, that should work pretty well. Again, I'm gonna pour a little bit more oblong here for this oblong shaped stamp. And then I'm just gonna gently place, I wanna make sure they're facing the right way. Gently place them in. These ones are so cute and delicate. I really love them. And then press. Okay, let's do, we've still got 2 more to do. I'm wondering if this one will fit. That one will fit in there. Let's try this one with the hexagon shape. So for this one, I just pour it in a circle. The same with the circle and the square. And I'm just gonna place my flower in, and I'm gonna press. And any little excess, that happens to me a lot when I'm making flower seals, so I'll show you how to just trim that off really easily. And the last one we have is this one. I'm gonna show you, this is larkspur, and I got it from a bouquet. But most of the time larkspur is already pretty like dried out. And what you can do is if you pull the petals out, they look like little tiny little flowers. So I love to use these and just place a few of them in a wax seal and then press them. So we can try that and see how that looks with this one. Maybe we can do it kind of horizontally. So let's pour our wax. We're gonna do, and our wax is cooling down a bit, which is good. It was too hot to start with, but that means you have to be quick with the flowers because it melts too much, you won't be able to press it. So let's just do 3, and then we press. Got it just in time. All right, let's see if some of these are cooled enough. The way you're gonna know they're cool, it should just come right off the parchment paper and you can feel it. If it's feeling hot still, it's not ready. If it's feeling kind of cool, it's okay, and it should just pop off. Look how adorable. I love it. Okay, let's try the square one. We're gonna be able to see all the different shapes. So you can see on this one, something that you'll notice with blanks. Sometimes the parts that were sticking were the edges because there's no flower there. So that means either one, let it cool a little bit more, or just be really careful as you're pulling it off. But that's something that can happen with these flower seals. If the wax is too hot when you're pouring it, it's harder to get it off of the stamp. Let's see. This one's pretty good. Oh my goodness. I love that one so much. Okay. Let's try our oblong. Okay. That one is so cute. Okay, these two are my favorites so far. Okay, let me show you what to do with this. So if you have a little extra, this happens with this type of flowers. I'll use baby breath a lot in my seals, and it's like a thicker stem, so it's harder to get off. So I'll just take my embroidery scissors and I'll just come in here and just snip that off, and then snip any extra that's there, and just kind of clean that up, and it just looks a little bit better. But that's so cute too. Okay. Our rectangle isn't cool enough, but I wanted to show you one more little thing I love to add to my flower seals that really just makes them pop. Okay, the very last thing I love to do, add some gold. You can't beat golden flowers, right? So this is a Krylon gold leafing pen, and of course it's a paint pen, so you have to shake it up, and then you're gonna press onto a paper towel or napkin, and you're gonna wanna kind of pump it until a bunch comes out. Once it's ready, then what we're gonna do is we're gonna go around the edge of the seals with gold, and it's gonna be so cute. So really what you want happening with this is not gonna give you a good flow. You want a lot of ink coming out so you know you've got a good flow. And I'll kind of clean up the edges a little bit, and then I'm ready to go. So I'll take my seal, and then I'm just gonna go around the edges. And this is sealing wax, so the paint sticks to it pretty good, but I found that I usually have to do 2 coats to really get this to stick on and be fully covered, because it will kind of, let me see if I can get it to do it, but it's working really well right now, but sometimes it'll seem like it's just too liquidy, that it doesn't really hold. And I like to get the tops, and I'm just holding it with my thumb, and I'm getting the top and then get the side. So this is the hexagon shape, but I feel like this just really takes them to the next level, and it's just so pretty. And then I'll just set them down like this and then let them dry. But I mean, look at that. How gorgeous is that? So, so pretty. Let's do one more. We'll do the circular one. And then as the paint, if it's not coming out well, then you'll just pump it again. So like at this point, it's kind of stopping. It's not working that well. So I'll just go back to my paper towel and kind of press down, get more coming out. You can see it's getting a little bit better coverage, but it's not a full coverage. So I mean, you could leave them like this, but I always end up doing 2 coats when I'm using this on sealing wax. If you ever do it with hot glue, you can usually get it in 1 coat because it just adheres to that a little better. But I mean, look at that. It just takes it to the next level. So, so cute. Okay, these ones turned out so cute. I had to show you these before I go. They got a little bit of gold stuck in there from the stamp, but I love them so much. They just look like floating little flowers. So cute. We could add some gold to the edge and it'll just be ready to go. So definitely give this a try. If you love wax seals or you love flowers, these are perfect for you. And you can get all of these gorgeous new blank stamp shapes on my website at begoodslettering.com. So thanks so much for watching, guys. Make sure to like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time.